Okay, so we're going to talk about Tito's training and how we can follow through and stay consistent at home. So for the first couple of weeks that Tito's back at home, I want you to keep treats on you so that you can reward good behavior when he does the command that you're asking correctly, and then that way we balance out the training because you're also going to correct behaviors that he does incorrectly or that he doesn't do right the first time. So let's talk about his remote collar, because this is what we're going to use to stay consistent and follow through with the commands that we ask of Tito. So the collar looks like this. This is going to be the key to turn the collar on right here, the on-off magnet. The matching magnet, I'm going to take this off for just a second. The matching magnet is on the remote. So if you look at the remote, the side with the antenna, and you turn it to the side, you'll see a black T button and then you'll see a little red dot. That is the magnetic key to turn the collar on. So what we're going to do, we're going to touch the two together and you'll see a green light on the collar itself. So you line up the dots, touch, and the collar is now on, ready to go. So it'll flash green every few seconds to let you know that the collar is on and charged. So you're going to turn this on, then you're going to put it on Tito where the light is facing outward. So you can put it anywhere underneath his chin. I would suggest putting it like in one spot and then every couple of days rotating it. If you're going to rotate it, don't drag it across. Make sure you loosen the collar, put this where you want it, then tighten it with the belt buckle. So this is on, good to go. Now we're going to turn on the remote. So on the back of the remote, we have the on-off button back here. We're going to push and hold that until the screen lights up. Once the screen lights up, you should see the number 15 along with 1D and the letter M. So what that means is Tito's correction level is 15 out of 100. So correction level means that we are going to apply the stimulation when he doesn't do the command correctly or is doing inappropriate behavior. So I'm going to pretend that my hand is Tito here for a second. So I'm pushing it down on my hand firmly but not too hard because this is going to fit snug on him so the contacts make good connection with his skin. Then on the remote side, my thumb is going to be resting on the black S button. There's a little notch right here, so we want to rest our thumb right there on that notch on the black S button because that stands for the stimulation at level 15. So let's say we're walking with Tito. So he's a little bit reactive with other dogs. We've worked on that a lot, but the key is to keep him in a calm mindset, walking next to us on a loose leash with no tension. And we're going to go over that with his prong collar here in just a second, but this is to help reinforce that behavior along with treats, of course. So he's walking next to us. We're doing really great. He's in a loose leash. He's doing good, but he starts to creep forward, and creeping forward leads to pulling on the leash, which leads to a more excited mindset, and that's going to get back to reactivity towards other dogs, so we don't want that. So we keep him in a calm mindset next to us. If he starts to creep forward, we're going to say no, push the black S button, and then tell him to heel. So you're marking the incorrect behavior with the verbal no. You're telling him exactly the action that was incorrect. You're following through with a little correction, and then you're telling him what to do. That way you're telling him what to do correctly. That way he can earn treats and rewards. So it's no, correction, command. No, heel. No, sit. No, down. Whatever the command is in the moment, you're saying no and you're marking the behavior, and then you're following through with the stimulation. So the red S button is boost. We haven't needed this yet for Tito, but you have it for emergencies only. Let's say for some reason he got away from you and he's bolting down the road and he's not coming back with level 15. The red S button will actually boost him to level 30. And if you notice, even though my finger is pushing and holding on the red S button, it is only stimulating for that momentary second. That is because we have it set to momentary. The M/C button back here changes it from momentary to continuous, but right now in his training you do not need the continuous setting. So boost is for emergencies only. If he gets away from you for whatever reason, when you're practicing recall, practice on leash first. So you'll see in the video that he has like a light line We're in an unfenced in area. He's completely off leash, so we have that light line just in case. But in the beginning, when you take him home, you want to practice with a regular leash, like a 30 to 50 foot leash, so that just in case he doesn't listen to you, because he's going to remember what life was like before training, so you want to make sure you ensure, hey, I know the commands just like the trainers did, so you have to listen to me as well. So have him on a leash, 30 feet, keep it loose, then when you call him back, reward, practice on leash first. Then as you practice and you prove him in that area, which just means you've trained in that area before and he's familiar with you doing the commands in that area, then you can try doing off leash, but have common sense. Don't do it around traffic or any dangerous scenarios like that. And of course on leash first, then you'll graduate to off leash. So you'll reward him for every single time he comes to you when called, because we want him to know that you're going to reinforce that good behavior with treats every time, so he knows that you've got the good stuff. So even if, like, let's say geese are out running around or squirrels or something, that distraction isn't going to be too much, because he knows that you have better stuff waiting for him, so he's going to ignore that distraction, hopefully, or ignore it after you give him a correction if he's still locked onto it for whatever reason. With prey drive, he comes back to you because you have built that reward history with him. Same with all the other commands. So with heel, this is the collar he's going to wear. How it's going to fit on him is it is going to go above the remote collar. So the remote collar is nice and high on his neck, shoulders back here, remote collar, prong collar, his ears are right there. So it's up high on his neck. So it's going to be nice and loose like this. Well, the collar is going to fit tighter around his neck, obviously, but the leash is relaxed. And then if he tries to pull forward, when you say no and push this button, you're also giving a slight tug and release to tell him, hey, back up a little bit. So it is a tug and release. It's not a pull. Tug and release, tug and release. That way you're communicating with him, back up or don't do that. That's with all the commands too. So we're going to go over that real quick. Heel, loose leash walking. How to reward with your left hand. So the leash would then go into your right hand. Your left hand would give a treat, good heel, and then you continue walking. So you would reward every so often. There's not like a set time to reward. Good heel, give him a treat with your left hand so that he knows the left hand side is the spot to be, to correct. Let's say he's trying to pull forward or he gets excited because he sees a distraction and he breaks the heel. The heel means stay on your left hand side right by your thigh. So if he goes too far ahead or too far to the side, you would say no, push the button, tug the leash and tell him heel. And then the leash goes back to a loose position, nice and relaxed hands. So for sit, sit means stay until I tell you free or heel. So let's say you're crossing the road, you'll have him sit, the traffic's clear, but let's say there's still more traffic and he gets up from a sit, no, pop, sit, then he has to wait until you say free or heel, traffic's good, you can walk across the road, heel, and he has to walk next to you. Free means you can get up and go sniff or do whatever. So on your walks, let's say you want him to sniff like a bush or some grass or whatever so he can go potty, then you would have him, you would heel, have him sit, then you would tell him free, go sniff, or you can go from a heel to a free and just walk him into that grass area. So we have heel, sit. Down means lay down and stay until you're told free. And we don't free from a distance. We always go back, good down, then free. If we free from a distance too much, like let's say we put him in a down and then we go 10 feet away and we tell him free, he's gonna be more likely to break the down stay. So always go back, good down, free. So he has to lay down all the way. If you're in a distracting environment and he just sits and he doesn't quite lay down, you would use the leash and tug a little bit downward, like no, down. And sometimes I'll use the correct the remote collar. It depends on if we've practiced in that area before. If we haven't, I'll just use the leash. If we have practiced there, I'll use the remote collar. And he has to stay in the down position until he's told free. Place, same thing, go to your boundary on your bed. It's an elevated boundary, so it can be the dog bed or anything that has that sort of boundary that he has to stay on. He can stand, he can sit, he can lay down, he can do whatever he wants as long as he doesn't vocalize or get off the bed before he's told free. And again, don't free from a distance, go back to him, then free. I use this for when people are coming over. That way the dogs aren't super excited and jumping on everybody. Tito will just hang out on his bed and be nice and calm while your guest comes in, takes off their shoes and whatnot. That way he's doing his job, staying on the bed. Then we'll reward him, then we can free him and he can go say hi. Come when called, come from point A to point B. It does not mean come walk with me. That's heel. It means he is out sniffing, enjoying himself, and then I want him to come back to me. So I would say come, back up. This invites him into your space. As he's running to you, good boy, sit, reward. Every time. Once he's in the sit, you can either leash him up and then heel, or you can tell him free and he can go on. And then leave it. If you drop anything off on the ground, you tell him leave it, and you're ready to correct in case whatever you've dropped is too tempting for him to leave it alone. Start off with something basic like hot dogs, and then work your way up to like a piece of chicken or something like that when you practice. This command's really important because if you ever drop like pills on the ground, you don't want Tito to rush after them and eat them in case they're not good for him. So that's everything. Stay consistent. You want to reward behaviors you like to increase the rate of those behaviors. Correct and follow through when he doesn't listen to decrease the rate of him not listening to your commands. So stay consistent, have fun, and now we're going to show you Tito's commands. heel. Down. Good boy. Down. Down. Good boy. Good down. Good down. Free? Good job. Sit. Sit. Free? Good job. Tito. Leave it. Okay. Okay, come get it. Free. Okay. Good job. Good job. Free. Leave it. Good boy. Good job. Okay. Free. You know, you're free. You're free. Okay. Right there. Good job. Right here. Right here. Right there. Good boy. Go to place. Place. Good place. Boy. Good place. Free. Good job. So we're going to go over the rest of the features on the remote collar. So first off, how to adjust the level. So right now level 15 is working great for Tito. That way it gets his attention. It's enough of a correction without causing him any discomfort or pain or anything like that. It's just enough to send a signal of, hey, that was inappropriate, try again. So right now the dial is locked, so it will not adjust low or high. What you're going to do to adjust it is push down and hold it until the 1D is flashing, then you're going to let go. Now you can turn it down or you can turn the level up. So in the future you might have to turn the level up for Tito because level 15 works right now, but as he gets older or he's around different distractions like in the home, he might need level 20 or 25. He was on level 20 for a little bit here, but then I noticed that level 15 was working great, so we try and use the lowest number to still get the message across, to discourage the unwanted behavior. So when you take him home, you might need level 20. What you'll do is you'll set it to the desired level, so we're going to turn it back to 15. Then we will push down and hold it until we lock it into place. That way we don't accidentally turn it up or down when we don't mean to. So that's how you adjust the level. Next we're going to go over the flashlight feature. So the on-off button on the back, instead of pushing and holding it to turn the remote on or off, we're going to tap it again, and that activates the flashlight on Tito's collar. Pretty cool, so you can see him at night. This is rechargeable. The charging port is under here, and on the back of the collar right here. It'll last 1 to 2 days on a charge. This will flash green when it's fully charged, but then as it starts to run low on battery, it'll flash orange or red, and that's when you know you need to plug it in. It'll only take a couple hours to charge, so you don't have to charge it all night, but what I would do is turn the collar off at night. So how to do that is touch the two together like we did at the beginning of the video. Red light means the collar is off, and then you would push and hold this button back here, push and hold the on-off / light button until the screen is blank. And ooh, didn't push it long enough. Once the screen is blank, then you know you've turned it off, so you can turn it off at night to save the battery. This is waterproof, so he can go swimming, he can get wet, but you want to make sure that the skin underneath is dried thoroughly, because this does fit snug, allowing only 1 to 2 fingers in between the collar so that the connections are really on his skin. What can happen is if it's got moisture under there, bacteria can form and it can lead to a skin infection. So we just want to make sure if Tito goes swimming, he can wear this, but you want to make sure you take the collar off, let his skin dry thoroughly, and then put the collar back on in a new area. That way, again, he doesn't get like a hot spot or anything like that. So we've turned this off. This does have a 2-year full warranty. To register your warranty or to get more information, there's an email in the box right here. In the box, we have his charging port, so you can charge both the remote and the collar at the same time. If you need to change out the prongs, which you shouldn't, there is a little tool right here to do that, to help you do that. These are longer prongs. It's made for dogs with longer, thicker hair, but Tito's got pretty short hair. And then we have the instruction manual at the bottom of the box in case you have any questions on the buttons or anything, but we've went over all of those. So those are just a few more details on the remote collar so that you can stay successful, and that is it.